morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So thank you, Grace of Heaven, grand predecessors, grandmaster, grand predecessors, predecessor, transmitter, and all of you for this opportunity to learn to speak on this subject. So it says bright wisdoms and how to manage our emotions. So first, as a bright wisdom, we have to actually learn well and understand the sutras often. Now, this is something we all have to do, and I know we notice that every Sunday morning, that before class start, that after the ceremony they have reading of the sutra. So that's something we probably should be doing in the English class, since most of us in the English class don't know any of the sutras by heart. So, and well, even just one, we should actually try to know, as Buddha says. When we understand the sutras completely, we will have a clear understanding of the path of Buddhahood. And we all would like to return to Buddhahood as we were before in one time or the other in our lives. Right? And our hearts and mind will be transformed. Be happy and learn from Maitreya Buddha. Always be happy. Then our eyebrows will not be tied into a knot on our eyebrows, on our brows. People's destinies are written on their faces. If we always have and maintain a smiling face, we will change our fate for the better. So what does that mean? That means that you walk around and you see people is always angry for one reason or the other, and you could always see it on their faces. Like you look at someone and you're asking a question, and the way that their appearance, sometimes without answering, you could find out the answer just by their physical appearance on their faces. All right, so we need to learn to be able to overcome that sort of stuff by all, like the first class. Virginia spoke a lot about that smiling face. So again, and now I'm here speaking about the same thing. So we need to have a little more presentable or appearance all the time, instead of just going around being angry. We have to not hide in our emotions, but actually controlling it and always have that nice appearance, so people would not sort of avoid us, because we have what my grandmother liked to say, you have a good countenance. So yeah, okay. So to do this, the Bodhi mind, or divine wisdom, or Bo-ri, replaces the human mind. How to manage our emotions are the most present or pressing and sometimes painful force in our lives. So we can't walk around like you say you have a monkey on your back. So we have to be able to let things go a little and don't carry around this weight with us. I remember a story where one of the Buddhas were traveling somewhere, and the river or the bridge or something went out, and the Buddha decided to help this lady and put her on his back and carried her across the river. And long after they are gone, someone start questioning the Buddha's motive, and he said, are you still carrying that? Is that correct, the way the story went? Do you remember? The monk, right? Okay, so see, that is doing something and letting go the thing. You just did something good and not keeping or holding on to that. So we need to learn that sort of stuff, right? So we take chances because we are excited for new prospects like love, work, food, TV, movies, cars, houses, travels, etc. Like just a few weeks ago, schools were out on a week spring break, and everybody, the children, were so excited about, say, they don't have to go to school for the week, and they were so happy. So all week, the week before, they were so happy. All they were concentrating on is being able to stay home for that week, while the parents were very angry because they now have a problem. They have to find a babysitter. They have to do all these things or stay home themselves to take care of the children for that week. So you see, like, there's no balance there, because once one set of the family is excited about this, and then the other side is having a different type of pressure to say how to manage that sort of stuff. So it's so pressing, and it's sometimes very difficult for us as humans to deal with. Okay, so sometimes we cry because we have been hurt, and we take or make sacrifices because of love. Without a doubt, our emotions dictate our thoughts. So something happens, and all we are concentrating on is the effect. But what about the cause? Did we create the cause, or it just came upon us like that? So we have to learn how to have this body mind, so we can fix these things and don't get into that state, right? So our emotion seems to be a superior authority over a rational or true mind, but it is not. So what is controlling us? Is this? So you have to go shopping, and you are concentrating on the shopping list or the prices of the commodities in the market. Is that control? That's your controlling factor, or the fact that you need these things? What is really controlling? Don't know if that's a good scenario, but we need to understand that our emotions don't have anything to do with the controlling factors of ourselves. That's not. Okay, so in controlling these or managing these emotions, there are 6 steps to manage these emotions. And these 6 steps, one is, don't react right away. To be calm, or jing ding. Did I say it right? Jing ding. Reacting immediately to emotions trigger can be an immense mistake. So, right? Then seek divine guidance to guard against the emotion J or discipline. Three is switch to a healthy lifestyle. 4, see the bigger picture. 5, we must change our thoughts. We must know the truth. All the phenomena are subject to its causes and condition. Do not be trapped in the temporary or set up situation. Divine wisdom. Wait. And 6, forgive and find ourselves beyond the triggers. So try to remember, because I'm not going to come back to these things. All right, so I'll get them one by one. So 1, don't react right away. Reacting immediately to emotions triggers can be an immense mistake. So reacting immediately to emotion triggers can be an immense mistake. It is guaranteed that we would say or do something we regret later. So something happened, and all of a sudden the person say, man, you are so dumb. What are you doing? Didn't you know that? Well, maybe at the time the person don't really mean that you're dumb per se, that you're dumb, right? But it could be a figure of speech, but instead you feel hurt and you react and you start saying things that you should not say. But once it comes out of your mouth, you can't take it back. So you have to be very careful and don't react right away. Sometimes it's best to just, as they say, let it be like water. You're throwing water on a duck's back and let it just run off and let it go away and don't make too much of it. All right. So remember, it is our true nature or true self that is in charge of our mind and body, and not the feeling or thoughts we are experiencing. As we learn in our Buddha nature class, to not let a single thought arise. So it might be a little hard to do that sometimes, depends on what the person say, but as cultivators we should be trying to be able to do that. When it does, let it go quickly. Do not let it take root, because if we take root now, our thoughts will be running wild and we wouldn't be able to control it, and then the impulse is to say something, to answer that person and say what you're feeling. Say, just remember to breathe deeply for 5 minutes as we feel our muscles relax or untense and our heart rate returns to its normal rate. Because naturally, when that person says something to you, your heart start palpitating and you're getting, you, like you say, you're boiling, you want to react, you want to say something back to that person to get even with that person. But we should not be doing that. We should have a little more control. Okay? So as we become calmer, affirm to ourselves that this and everything is temporary. So just let it go and it will pass. So Sky, I needed to show that video. Okay, so I'll let it pass then, because I thought I had it attached separately outside of the email. Okay. So we can next. So number 2 is that we are seeking divine guidance to guard against the emotional G. Right. So, do you believe in divine intervention? Anybody? Have you ever had any experience where something happened and and at least when it happens, sometimes you don't listen. So if you have ever had it and then you listen and you follow, and whatever the intervention dictated, that it came true. Anybody have that experience? Nobody?
Every day.
Every day. Right. Okay. What do you do when you are late for work? What do you do when you are cut off by a bad driver? What do you do when your food or your clothes burn during preparation?
Oh, it's a
Alright, so you even get angry. Your food is burning, and let's say you're hungry and you're late. Let's say it's night time, so you're preparing your supper or dinner, and the food burned because you are involved in something else while the food is being cooked. Next thing, you're angry with the stove, you're angry with the pot, everything, the ingredients and so forth, and you're so angry, so you start fretting, and next thing you don't want anything to eat anymore because now your stomach is all filled with what? no, not food, but anger and that sort of stuff. So, you know, it's a bad thing. Or you're driving, and those of you who drive, and somebody give you that bad drive and cut you off, all right? And you start poop, you're blowing your horn and you're cursing and whatnot, all right? And then the worst part is that you decided what you were going to wear to work next day, and in the morning you got up and for some reason there's a little crease or something on some part of it, so you got the iron and start smoothing it out so you could look presentable, and all of a sudden it burned because the iron was too hot. Now there's a big problem because now you have to go and find something else to work. So you're angry, and what really happens is that anger goes with you for the rest of the day, and you take it out on everybody you're in contact with. All right. So having faith is our saving grace and our darkest moment. No matter our creed, developing a healthy relationship with the divine world will help to surmount our obstacles most easily. This is because when we believe in a higher force, we also believe in the power of divine intervention. To show us what we must do, teach us why something happened, and even save us from certain unwanted situation. So I'm sure most of us have experienced something sometime or the other that we wanted to do something, or like you have to make a decision whether to go left or to go right, and for some reason something is telling you go left, and when you went left, that's the correct way to go, and someone else probably was with you and they went right, and then you got there before that person, or things happen over there. Like you're driving and something's telling you, don't go that way, go left. And then later on you hear in the news there was a big accident at certain times, and you think, wow, if I was over there, I probably would have been part of that accident. Have you ever had that experience? I'm sure, all right.
It's a Buddha nature.
Yeah, your Buddha nature always guiding you. Right? When we are burdened with emotions, close our eyes 2/3 of the way, envision our Buddha nature, and think of a positive solution to what burdens us. If we must ask the universe to eliminate the best path forward, then clear our minds and let not a single thought emerge. And that is a practice we call Xing Li, Xing Fa. Right?
Very good. That is becoming more Chinese.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So we can change our eating habits, avoid the pungencies, right, of garlic, onion, garlic, chive, leek, and tobacco. And most of all, most naturally, because it's not there, so we have to avoid intoxicants. And so when you go out, and because you go out with your job and so forth, they say, oh, we're going to have a glass of red or a glass of white, things like that. Whether you hear doctors saying that a glass of wine is not a bad thing or it's a good thing for you, it is a bad thing for you, because you could get drunk by drinking that wine. So you should not do that. So this says that we're number 3, where we're switching to a healthy lifestyle. So
Why not the onion garlic kind of
okay, Kai, Tai.
Well, yeah, because they're related to affecting your emotions, or emotions.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
Desires.
Desires, yeah.
general desires,
Yeah.
passions, right?
Yeah, passion.
Yeah.
So I mean, that started thousands of years ago. You know, in Hindu, you know, they the true cultivators, they avoid those too, because for that reason. Onion, I mean, garlic, like, can increase your anger. I mean, you like raw onion, garlic, raw, and then eat it like cooked, then it can arouse,
Arouse,
you know,
it's
that's what they
nice.
say it's like an aphrodisiac or something,
Yeah.
right? So as a cultivator, obviously you want to control those emotions, so you want to avoid those because those are like in essence kind of like an intoxicant or something like that. Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Alright. Alright. So how do we switch? So after we have managed our troubled emotions, we can change our outlook and by implementing this healthy lifestyle. So this help eating, listen, it's always said that we are what we eat. So if we're not eating correctly, naturally that we're not going to be healthy. So we have to eat healthy, and like Lecture Ty just explained, the pungencies, what it does to our body. But not just these, but then there are so many different things that are out there for us to eat today that create so much problems. And if you listen to the commercials and you don't understand, you'll get carried away because this person, I'll use your minute, Ednison is manufacturing certain product and he's saying, oh, this product is so good, and Gene's product is not good, it don't have enough of this one, enough of that. Like for instance, they're talking about proteins and they're saying you have to eat meat to get protein, but meat don't have any protein. So the meat, if the cows, the animals don't eat the grass and those sort of stuff, they would not have any protein at all. So we have to know what we're listening to, right? Like there's a commercial right now that is saying almond milk, they only have 4 almonds in the milk, right? Because the milk industry is suffering, so a lot of people start switching, so they need the milk to be sold. So they're saying things like that, right? But it's up to you. You have to know what you're doing. Okay? So that's just an example. And many people find it's helpful to engage in various forms of exercises such as yoga, kickboxing, martial arts, to discharge their feelings. Others meditate and chant, return to a tranquil state of being. So again, we are speaking about a healthy lifestyle. So if you're just eating and you're not exercising, you're not going to be healthy, because we have to get rid of the toxins in our bodies, and one of the best way to do that is to exercise, to let the toxins come through our pores, and drinking enough water, things like that. So we have to find an activity. It don't have to be like you're doing it every day, but you have to have something, because naturally if you're a couch potato, you will be just putting on weight all the time, because the body is a machine, so it needs to be active and doing things, and not just get up, go to work, go home, eat, go home, sleep. That's not a good routine. We have to keep that body.
Even just walking half an hour a day.
Well, yeah, brisk walking, alright, it's good. So if you're not involved in an activity, you should find one that is suitable for you and start doing it. So others feel choose the activity that is best suitable for you to liberate your pent up emotions. So if like Lecture Gene just said, if you're walking, when you're walking and the body start finding that joy in the walk, you'll find all that pent up stuff start disappearing. You start feeling, when you get home, like you say, wow, I could have gone a couple of 5 more minutes or something.
And it relaxes
You relax, right? So you'll feel
Right?
you'll feel a lot better,
You're welcome.
right?
Oh, it's
So
nice. That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I walked for 1.5 hours yesterday.
I walk for 45 minutes.
Separately.
Okay.
I walked for 2 minutes.
Going to the bathroom.
Okay. So there are other things you could do is like connect socially. Yes. So a social connection, you could find friends, old school or work mates, and go out and do things, get involved in little activities and so forth. So that if you look at these ladies here, if any one of them look as if they're tense or they have problems, they're so relaxed, and look what they're doing, origami, right? So they are making things, and right. So yeah, so they are having fun. So all their troubles and problems are going out the window. Okay, so that's a social connection. So there are different types of emotions from a variety of sources. Managing emotions can sometimes be challenging, but learning new strategies and getting the right connection and support can help reduce many types of emotion, such as feeling overwhelmed, lack of sleep, headaches, and social withdrawal. So social withdrawal is a big thing. Oh, I don't have any time. Come on, let's go. He couldn't say. He always seems to not have any time for self, but there's always time. He always see. Everybody has the same amount of time, 24 hours. So if you're not taking care of yourself, we need to, like you say, to unwind. You have to unwind sometime. So get a social connection and do something. Alright, just sitting home and watching television or with the children playing video games or so forth, not helping. Just have children, then go to the park with the children and watch them run around and do things. And alright, so alright, Jill?
Not Facebook, right?
Not Facebook.
No Facebook, no
Right.
computer.
No, that is more stress. Alright. So we could seek some support. Okay? Support can come from different sources. Alright? We can grab lunch or chat with a co-worker. Plan fun activities with family, friends, or co-workers. If we feel overwhelmed, talk to a family member or a healthcare provider. So a person, whatever the problem is, the various type of problem, and you're just keeping it inside of you. But if you just talk to somebody who you trust and you could confide in, you'll see how good you'll feel by letting it go.
Yeah.
Right.
The worst is to hold it in.
Right? Yeah.
And then you get ulcers and
All sort of
whatnots.
things
Yeah.
happen. Right? Like Granny would say, man, why are you boring a hole in your heart? You have to talk out what you have in your mind.
But you gotta find somebody
You can trust, yeah.
that won't let it out.
And,
or
yeah.
tomorrow the whole world will know.
Yeah, or they put it on Facebook, right? Alright, so you have to be very careful. Alright? Okay. So take a walk around and see it, do something. Yes.
Joe?
Oh.
I was gonna say sometimes,
Yeah.
my own personal experience is that you don't want to look for somebody that you know to express what's bothering
What's-
you.
yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, so sometimes it's easier if you just talk to a stranger. sometimes.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
worse than
that-
the stranger.
Well,
Because you just wanted to vent it out.
yeah, but you see,
They don't give you those, they won't be biased about anything. So you feel more comfortable that way.
that's one scenario, but you see, the important thing here is trust. Someone you could tell, everyone must have a friend that you could tell that person your deepest secret, and that person will never let it out. So if you don't have a person like that, then that means you don't have a good friend. Everyone should have a friend that you could do that.
We're all lonely, man. We're all alienated. We're all so alienated.
Elderson, what's up, man?
Apple, iPhone, yeah, right.
Yeah. Alright. So it's important that we should be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, so we covered this already, right? So let's look at the bigger picture. Right? So everything that happens in our lives, good things or dreadful things, is related to or has other purposes. Karma or a divine test, like we say, something happened and you're wondering, why did this happen to me? So it's just a test to see how we manage that thing. Alright, we had one class one day, I don't remember who gave it, I think it was Christine, about all the merits and demerits and so forth. Right? And so the angels that go around with us all day need do something to see how we actually are cultivating. So how do we manage that particular thing? So we have to be very careful. Okay, so one really need wisdom and understanding to be able to see the big picture of the moment and the greater meaning of any given situation. Sometimes we may not understand it at first. As time goes by and with wisdom we see the bigger picture as things align in order. So when something happens, again, we are letting our emotions control situations. We have to use our wisdom to know what is right and what is wrong, and always remember that once something comes out of our mouth, there's no erasers to erase it. It's out already and it's in the wind. Alright? And it's not like now that technology say we're putting things in the cloud so you could go back and grab it. It's gone. It's all over. It's like an ant's nest. You disturb it and the ants are all over. And you cannot say, well, they may mix with other ants from a different ant's nest. So how are we going to determine what we really said? How can we grab it and take it back? It can't come back. So we have to be very careful and not let our emotions control us. Okay? So even during an emotional, upsetting moment, trust that there exists an ultimate purpose to which we will soon understand. So if we can understand and believe that, then we'll be a lot better. Going down. So we have to change our thoughts. So imagine the ideal situation, okay, to a problem, and playing out things about someone who makes us happy, or remember an event that makes us smile. So Virginia spoke about things like that earlier. So greed, anger, and ignorance are negative emotions, and they're all what we call, and they're poisonous. So we have to be very careful about those things, because most people crave things or be envious. Oh, why I'm working so hard? How come they hardly working and they have all this? We should not be thinking about those things. Again, we as cultivators should understand that a person today have wealth because of something from the past. So whatever we have or today is because it's just what we're supposed to have. We're not going to get more than what we should have. We're going to have only what we are deserving of having. So we should not be engaged in these poisonous emotions. So negative thoughts bind us to the cycle of reincarnation. Whenever we are confronted with emotions that generates a feeling, and our thoughts become like a wild monkey, like that means that we get this idea or this thought in our head, and we just would not leave, and the more we try to get rid of it, it just keep rotating all the time. We can't get it. Like sometimes a person will say, oh, I have this song in my head and I can't get rid of it. Alright, so it just keep going over and over in our head. So we should try to let these things go and not let it fester, because once it gets there, so that's what it means, like a wild monkey. It's just going. If you watch a monkey, it's just they just all over the place. Okay, so we should not let our thoughts be like that.
Monkeys, you keep talking about monkeys.
Okay, so if we do so, this will cause us to have undesirable thoughts, right? Force it out of our mind and replace it with a positive thought, and imagine the ideal solution to our problem playing out. Think about someone who makes us happy, or or remember an event that makes us smile. I'm sure we all have some one of those. So even if it's a song, think about that song that made you smile or made you happy. Something, or you saw somebody you haven't seen for such a long time and that person brought back a good memory. Things like that. We have to be able to do things like that. So instead of getting carried away with bad thoughts. So let's go back to now this is our 6. Alright, number 6. So forgive and find ourselves beyond the triggers. It's not working now. Oh, this one works.
Hi, Kate here. Welcome to Wellcast. If you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time, check out our introductory video. Long story short, it's 100 wellness exercises in 100 days. You in?
Are you in?
It doesn't take a lot to make me angry. What about you? Did some schmuck cut you off on the freeway? Maybe your boyfriend accidentally shredded that birthday card your grandma sent you. So you freak out, you scream maybe, a vein pops out of your forehead. It happens to everyone. But did you know that anger is actually affecting your physical health? Hey, anger is inevitable, okay? You can't just stop getting angry. Even the world's most sedate person has uttered a few choice words in traffic. Will that expletive fest really make you feel better? Will punching a wall really calm you down? The answer is no. Sorry, but recent studies have shown that anger reactions are pretty harmful to your physical health. A Yale University study found that people with anger management issues tend to get sick more often. Their anger actually weakens their immune system. The Journal of the National Medical Association added that people who respond negatively to anger are 9% more likely to have a heart attack. Hey, that might not sound like a lot, but come on, it's a heart attack. Every percentage point counts. Other studies have linked anger to everything from coronary disease to high blood pressure. Now that we all know that excessive angry outbursts are bad for you, we're going to teach you how to manage that anger in 4 simple steps. All you're going to need is that handy-dandy Wellcast journal, a little bit of time, and a teeny bit of self-awareness. Step 1, control your breathing. When something pisses you off, instead of screaming or laying on the horn, take deep breaths. Spend 2 to 3 minutes breathing deeply, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Imagine inhaling calm blue air and exhaling that red toxic air. Step 2, relax your muscles. Unclench your fists. Make a conscious effort to loosen those shoulders and slump a little. Great posture is awesome, but for now, let those muscles unwind. I promise it'll help. Step 3, get it out. Once you're relaxed and breathing deeply, grab your Wellcast journal. If it's a road rage thing, obviously please pull over, but when you get a chance, write down exactly what made you angry. Step 4, seeking context. It's important to put your anger into context by thinking rationally instead of emotionally. Think about it. Are you going to be angry tomorrow? Probably. What about a week from now? Maybe. A month? Probably not. A year? I don't think you'll remember, but by examining your anger this way, you can displace yourself from it, and you'll be able to process your anger without letting it take over your life. Let's recap. You need to find a healthy way to process your anger, or else you could run into some really nasty health problems. Remember to relax and breathe evenly, and then work through your anger by writing it down and contextualizing it. We can't promise you won't get angry ever again, but hopefully with this, you found a way to deal with it a little bit better. Tweet us at WatchWellcast, email us at watchwellcast@gmail.com, or leave a...
All right. So, did you like that video?
Yeah,
Right.
it's very practical, it's
Yeah,
very good.
right.
Actually, the fourth step, that last step,
Yeah.
is really, I mean, when we talk about Buddha nature, we study Buddha nature, is really to understand the causes, causality, understand the cause. So realize that, whatever, car cut you off or something, did something bad to you or stabbed you in the back or understand that all those things have their causes, have their origins.
Right.
So that's why one thing that when we study Buddha nature is to just understand, Tao is that Buddha taught us that these causes, whenever causes converge, the confluence of certain factors that create something like that, then understand that, hey, these causes are not permanent. They'll go away. When the causes go away, then that event won't happen. You understand? So
Yeah.
that's why it's impermanent, right? Those things you talked about that, right, are not permanent. So what is there to be angry about? You realize that, hey, there's a cause, there are causes, factors that converge, that came together at such and such a point in time or whatever, right? And that created that, right? And so that caused it. But then you should understand that, hey, these causes are not, or factors are not permanent. Then they're gonna go away. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's why then it's gonna disappear. So whatever event or whatever that will cause you, it's not gonna be
It's
there.
not,
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's impermanent. Understand? Okay? So that's why we have to try to get over that hump. Get into that mode of thinking. Then it's easier to let go.
Yeah.
We should realize that, hey, these things are not permanent. Reasons. Maybe in my previous life I did something to tick off this person or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now it's payback time. Okay, fine. But then that's it. But see, the problem is if we get angry in turn and react, then that's why we create further entanglement, and then we prolong this causal chain. Get it? And then what's going to happen is, in a future date, then it's going to come back and haunt you. Well, so what goes around comes around. Get it? So that's why we have to try to break those chains, that cycle. Understand? That's really what enlightenment is. Okay? At a higher level, at the broader level. But,
You figured it out already?
Make sense?
You figured it
So,
out already?
we gotta
Okay.
get over that
I mean,
hump.
this is Buddha nature.
Get into that view. You know what I'm trying to say? If we get into that, then it'd be easier. I mean, I'm not saying right away, but you understand. So you realize to understand that's really proper view.
Yeah.
That's the first of the Noble Eightfold Path. I'm sure it's also part of the five
Full-
wisdoms, the Great Mirror of Wisdom, in all. But that's more high level.
Okay. All right. So our emotional triggers may be our best friends, our family member, ourselves, or all of the above? How many of you have your best friend, your family members causing you to be angry all the time? Most of us, because they do things like they don't put things back where it's supposed to be. They leave the place dirty. They don't wash the dishes and all these sort of things. So
Inconsiderate.
yeah.
Doing
Okay,
something.
yeah.
You must be lucky that when transmitter
That's
ray
right,
come
man.
back.
That's right, man.
Okay.
Transmitter ray.
Yeah. So we may feel a sudden wave of anger when our friends does the things he or she does, or manhood or ego is tested. We self-loathe when we remember some things that we should or could have done differently. So men, we have ego. What women have?
We have. What do we have?
What, reason?
Men
Well,
are
our ego is what is always getting our way with things.
Women
but
have kindness.
kindness,
passion.
passion.
You know, without kindness, we wouldn't be doing all the housework.
That's right.
Well, no comment there. Alright, I'm not commenting there. Okay, so remember, getting angry is a very dangerous thing, because anger is just one letter away from danger. So when a person is very, very angry and you start reacting within that anger, you're losing most of your
Here.
senses, right? You start doing no, you do things and that
Yeah,
you
that you'll
can
regret
you
later.
regret, right? So can't control it. So we have to be very careful, because danger means exactly what it says.
Well, it's also bad for your health.
It's-
right?
yeah,
Feels.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there is a physiological consequence
Yeah.
as well as a spiritual consequence.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so dangerous. That's why in Buddhism, when we study, that's anger is part of the three poisons. It is so deadly. You understand? I mean, that's why we must get rid of that, because there are no Buddhas.
Comment
out
down
there.
below.
No angry
Okay, I
Buddhas.
can't move
There
up
could be
here.
angry asuras. There are asuras.
It's time.
You know, asuras.
Yeah.
Ashura, right? We talked about that in class 2 weeks ago. I talked about the asuras, the realm of
Oh,
asuras.
okay.
They're always saying-
If we're angry, we are asuras. You know what asuras? Asuras are like
That's not me.
it's one of
The whole thing.
Turn it off.
it's a category
Okay.
where humans are always angry, very combative,
Yeah.
very argumentative, very I don't say ego-driven, but very selfish. You can say selfish, angry, all that. So we don't want to be that, because asuras are part of the 10 realms that are still subject to samsara. Okay, so we don't want to be that.
Okay. All right. So, however, when we forgive, we detach. Okay? We detach from rejection, jealousy, and someone's anger and fury that lingers within our thoughts. We must allow and accept others to be who they are without the need to escalate in emotion. As we forgive, we will disassociate ourselves from the harsh feeling of attachment and our emotional triggers. So, don't put your foot in two boats at the same time. Okay, so why are we saying don't put all two? This is I think Jigong Buddha who
Yeah.
said that, right?
Yes, I said
Alright.
that. But he didn't mean angry. He meant that if
No,
you put
this is like getting less. A simple explanation is to say you have one opinion and Tai have another opinion. So Kerry asks you, okay, what are you gonna do? You think, and then you're saying yes for yourself and yes. So that's two things at the same time. We should not do that. We should be able to make up our minds and stand by our belief or conviction. Okay. Okay. So, how to hold our temper? First, take a deep breath, because when we are angry, it is very easy to pour all our angers onto others and inflict danger on both sides. Or if something is wrong, it is wrong. Like, basically everything is in life is in that circle, right? And in this circle, there are only two factors: right and wrong, up, down, night and day, things like that. So how could you be acting with, or like the Buddhas will say, or speaking with a forked tongue? We supposed to be able to say, if it's now 12:35, it is 12:35. We can't say anything else because it is 12:35. Yeah. So no two boats at the same time, just one. So therefore we take what we could do, we take a deep breath when we get angry, count to 5 and concentrate on our true nature. You will feel better as our budding anger is swallowed up with the deep breaths. So if we get that angry that we can't control it and we want to do something, we always have, there's a saying that when our anger go forth, hold our hands, and when our temper go forth, hold our hands, and when our hands go forth, hold our temper. So a person, let's say you're on the pub, walking on the street, and somebody pass in a crazy manner and they bounce against you, and whatever you have your groceries in your hand, and the bag fell and all your vegetables or fruit, it's all over the sidewalk. It's sometimes you feel like, oh, you want to go and grab that person and pull them back and say, well, pick my stuff up or what. So we have to be able to just let that go. If you have to go back and purchase it all over again, so be it. Because again, now you have passed that threshold of just being angry, and what comes next? Danger. So we have to be very careful and in these sort of situations. Yeah. So Jean, you could explain it better of how we do that breathing.
The breathing,
Yeah.
or the meditation?
Yeah, the breathing. Put our tongue up and breathe and from our diaphragm.
Oh, you put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and you inhale slowly. When you inhale, you expand your diaphragm, and then hold your breath for how long you want to. Okay, let that air circulate in your body, and then when you release it slowly, and your diaphragm will be deflated. Okay.
Okay. So it's
And while you're doing that, you're supposed to squeeze your butt.
squeeze your butt. Yeah.
I
So
forgot about that part.
I think this is from Lecture Lu, right?
No,
No?
this is from Buddha.
The Buddha. Okay.
I don't know which, Qigong
Holy
Buddha
teacher,
or
I think so.
Yeah.
longevity
Holy teacher.
Buddha.
Okay.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I think it was longevity Buddha.
Right. So we could practice, because just breathing is a very important thing, and even though most of us say that we are breathing, but most of the times we are not, because like
We're
we are breathing
from
here
the lungs.
and it's not
Yeah,
here,
it
it's
should be the
down
diaphragm.
here, right? So breathing like a person,
Like a baby.
yeah, like a baby,
Yeah, baby
right?
breathes from their diaphragm.
See,
Yeah, if
so
you watch the baby when they're sleeping, there's
yeah, the stomach, you see,
when they,
yeah, you see the stomach,
the stomach will
Yeah.
expand when they
Yeah.
inhale,
yeah,
and then when they
It's very easy.
exhale, it'll go down.
Yeah, I
I've
watched my
watched
kids
that.
sleep.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
it's like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that true? They
Yeah,
have like-
yeah.
I thought there's something wrong.
no,
Yeah, me too. I was
right?
like, ooh,
So,
what's going on?
and most times a person, like all of us, are here because when our mothers went to the hospital, what did they tell him our mothers to do? Breathe. So they just breathing deeper. So, and it's important today. Someone have a problem and they get a heart attack because what? They fail to breathe, right? Because that anger, everything bottles up, and that anger that you had inside, it just was too much, so it just
And when we
exploded
get
heart.
anger, our body is secreting toxins in the
yeah.
body.
Right. All right. So it's important that we breathe, but don't forget, don't go. That's too much
Not
pressure.
short breaths, should be
Too much on your
deep,
heart.
long
All right.
breaths, and hold it
Right.
for as long as you can,
Okay.
and then release that out.
Okay.
Supposed to be 36 times in the morning, 36 times in the noon, and 36 times in the
Yeah.
evening.
Okay. So
That's what the
I'll
Buddha
skip
says.
the video.
Wow.
6
Yeah.
times meaning what? In and out one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
One
that's
cycle.
like
One cycle.
Yeah.
What?
36 or
Buddha
72.
said 36 times
Could be
a day.
72.
No, per
36
session, per
times
session.
3 times
Oh
a
my
day.
God, I'm
Yeah.
so far behind.
Or if you're doing it, you could also 36 or 72.
Oh my
Depends
God.
on, yeah.
No, I remember that, but I forgot about it.
You tighten your butt because when you hold that air in, you don't want to release it the other
You're
way.
just-
No.
You
No,
got
no,
it?
it's circulating the
Cobras
internal.
It's
came
the
out with
chi,
the-
yeah, it's the
someone
circulation
guest
of the
came out
chi.
on the show like 10 years ago. She said a doctor
Right.
saying the same
So
thing.
I'm
Go
gonna
through that
stop
as
here.
well.
Yeah.
God, man, I gotta do that, man.
Yeah.
No wonder, man.
It's kind of
You gotta do a lot of things.
Yeah, it's very important that we do it. It's a good exercise, and it's regulating, right? So once you're doing it, it's like it sort of put things in place.
Yeah.
So
Anger actually
right,
it'll reduce
it
the anger.
reduce the
And
yeah.
then you do it right.
Alright.
It does.
Okay.
I think I read it
So,
somewhere.
Jing,
it's kind
how
of
do we do
prolong
it? You have
your
to
life.
extend our diaphragm when we're breathing.
Well,
Inhale.
not
You
no.
need a class for that.
Yeah.
Inhale,
Yeah.
Let's do it.
you're
Let's do it.
expanding it.
Yeah.
Inhale's expanding
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
stomach.
Exhale,
You-
you're
you're tightening your
decreasing
stomach.
it.
Tighten it. Yeah, so
And while all this time you're squeezing your butt.
yeah.
God, I
And
Okay.
the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth.
Right.
Yeah, they were saying that if you go to hospital and you see someone breathing like short breath,
Yeah.
that means that this person is about to.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah.
what they say.
Yeah.
That's a myth. That's what
Well,
they
well,
think.
not necessarily
Well,
because
some
maybe
people have sinus
Yeah,
problems.
Yeah,
yeah,
some people also
right.
have asthma.
yeah,
Asthma.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Asthma.
they
And allergies
yeah.
prevent the normal
Yeah, the more,
breathing.
and they may be in a lot of pain and so forth, and they're concentrating on the pain and not on healing themselves, because we all have this healing power inside of us. But again, we have to be able to get rid of the
Isn't
angers
that the
and so
basic of Qigong too?
Qigong,
you
yeah,
have to learn.
yeah.
The first step
First,
is learn
yeah.
how to breathe.
breathe.
properly.
Yeah, yeah,
So, okay, that's
Okay,
Qigong.
yeah.
You know, later on,
Yeah.
then you can control the breathing
breath,
to go
yeah,
wherever,
yeah.
to control your energy to
Yeah.
go wherever part
So
of your body.
yeah, it's basically to control the chakras in our bodies.
Yeah.
You know,
and so,
yoga,
yeah,
the breathing is the opposite.
yeah, yeah. It's opposite.
In
Yeah,
yoga,
Yeah.
when you inhale, you squeeze in
Squeeze
your
in,
stomach.
yeah.
Ooh, that's
When you
tough.
exhale,
it's opposite. Yeah,
you will expand your
Expand,
your
yeah.
stomach.
That's tough.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
No,
that's
that's
Qigong.
not what
That
the
that
Buddha
is
said.
qigong.
That's the
Yeah,
type.
yeah.
Isn't that the way what
yeah.
No,
Buddha
the
taught us?
Buddha did.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy teacher taught us.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
When you're breathing, it's
Yeah.
the opposite.
Yeah,
Opposite,
You have
yeah.
to- Yeah, so moment when we
The
breathe,
opposite of
we,
what
we,
they
Yeah.
we expand our lung.
Yeah,
That's wrong.
Yeah.
This should be the opposite. I
Yeah.
said, whoa, how do you do that?
yeah.
No, the Buddha taught us to
Yeah.
expand it.
No.
No,
That's
you
the
breathe down
normal.
to the
That's the
abdomen,
normal.
you have to
You
kind
have
of
to do
squeeze it.
opposite.
But
Isn't that
this is
interesting?
yeah.
That's why it's so difficult. No wonder I didn't do it.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
because you never do yoga.
The time is up. I still have about three more slides and video. So, but
It's okay.
time is up. I hope if I have said anything or made any comments that disturb anyone, or said anything to disturb in general the saints and the Buddhas, I ask for theirs and your forgiveness.